Greetings, 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 beautiful beings, greetings, natural beings. Let's talk about the word contrary. We already know con means deceit, okay? Not right. Let's see what con means. Con, persuade someone to do or believe something, typically by use of deception, which is deceit. Swindle, defraud, cheat, trick. I conned him into giving me your home number. An instance of deceiving or tricking someone, a con artist, swindle, deception, trick. Have you ever seen somebody gaslight you to the point where you question your own existence, right? Well, let's talk about contrary. Contrary, opposite in nature. Have you ever been around somebody that's already contrary to you? Have you ever been around somebody that loves being around you, but when you get around other people, they're always contrary. They're never for you. They're always against you. They're always challenging you, like they need other people to back them up to prove that you're wrong. Or maybe if I have 5 people on my side, I could finally win a debate with you. Have you ever seen people that try to debate you head on, but they can't actually win the argument or the debate? So when they get in group settings, they become very contrary, deceitful, right? And they want other people to take the topic and pin you to the wall or back you up to the corner, right? This is what you call contrary. So I speak about a childhood experience. And I said, during this time, this was the last time we went to my grandmother's house. Me and my middle brother, went to my grandmother's house for the summer like we always do. I probably was about to go to middle school. Yeah, about to go to middle school. And my grandfather threw a bunch of watermelon seeds out there in the grass in a random spot, right? It was a big watermelon patch. It had at least about 15 watermelons the size of cantaloupes. We were so excited. And my grandmother, if you look at her, she's like the trophy. She's always the center of attention. We always glorify what grandmother does, right? So we saying, ooh, we're going to be here 2 months. We're going to be able to watch the watermelons grow. We're going to be able to eat watermelon. Papa grew them. We at the breakfast table in the morning and at dinner talking about the watermelons, not knowing we're just innocent children. I'm telling a person this story, right? We're just innocent children. Can't wait for the watermelons. They can't grow fast enough. Grandma got the tractor one morning. And went out there and pulverized the whole watermelon patch. We couldn't understand Papa out there fussing. Bess, why you do that? Da-da-da-da-da. She said, because who gonna water them? Who gonna maintain them? God. That's what I thought. And, we got free water from the pond and the ground. Why we can't just turn on the irrigation system and water them, right? It was so thrilled. And I said, she just done broke this precious man's heart. Which he was strong. He was very strong. But I called my mother. I'm telling this story, right? I called my mama and said, Grandma just ran over Papa watermelon patch. Said he planted it in the wrong space. It was messing up the image of her the showcase of you coming into the home area. I said, we coming home early. Come get us in 2 weeks. We didn't make it through the whole summer. After that, we never went back. We never went back until Grandma called and said Papa was about to pass away. We never went back. We didn't understand. We never knew. So an associate of mine gave his comment and said, but he was passionate about it. He got his head down. I don't know if he getting sleepy or what. But he was like, maybe your grandmother had something else on her mind. And I was like, yeah, her being the center of attention and being the winner, the showcase of the children, the star. He said, no, maybe your papa did something to her. Went and talked to him. I said, well, what are you insinuating? Why would she take it out on a watermelon patch? I said, you actually don't know my grandmother. She is the star. She is the actor. She is the one that puts on the show, the center of attention. I said, and when she didn't have it, she destroyed the watermelon patch. And him dealing with his reality and his domesticated situations with his upbringing, he felt different. Somehow, me just telling a story turned into an all-out verbal altercation. It was like either I take his statement and shut up or nothing at all, okay? And I said, you're being contrary. Because all I did was tell you an experience that happened in my life as a child, and you just flipped on me. It could have been sleepiness, could have been tipsiness, I don't know. To the point the person was like, if you don't be quiet, I'm leaving. And when alcohol plays a part, you don't know who right or wrong. I said, well, if you want to blame it on alcohol, you need to go. Because this is my time. This is my time right now. And if you're interfering with me drinking my alcohol to the point where I'm questioning my own reality, and all I'm doing is telling you something that happened in my past, I really don't need an explanation. You can give me, well, this is what women do when men do this and that. Yeah, that's your point. My grandparents lived out in the country. They didn't have time to mingle and dibble and dab. Even if they probably did, it just wasn't likely at the age of 70s. It just wasn't likely, okay? They was just content with who they were. Okay, well, anyway, contrary to the fact, I'm giving facts. He says, I wasn't there. I don't know. That's your story. I said, wait a minute. When has it ever mattered how factual a situation is when somebody's just telling you what they experienced or what they saw? I wasn't trying to decode my grandmother. I wasn't trying to decode my grandfather because I knew she wanted the victory. She wanted to be the prize. And us being happy about them watermelon and people coming, because of course he gonna be on the phone and say the watermelon's ready, and he gonna have a few people come from town to come get the watermelon. You know what I mean? She pulverized the watermelon patch. She went out there with the biggest tractor and just chopped everything up and said, who gonna water it? You ain't gonna take care of it. What you gonna do with it? Oh yeah, it was terrible. Well, anyway, don't allow people to be contrary, where you're talking about something, but what they say has nothing to do with what you're saying. It's just totally against what you're saying. It ain't even on the same subject. It's just like saying something just idiotic like this. You're wearing a blue shirt. And they say, I put on a blue shirt today. And I say, I don't acknowledge you have on a blue shirt. That car red. I don't have all the facts. I don't even acknowledge that car red. That's what the person said to me. I don't acknowledge your grandmother cutting the watermelon patch because I don't have all the facts. So you mean to tell me, are you telling me that I didn't see my grandmother go out there with that big ass tractor and run over all them watermelons and rip up all them vines with the blades of the tractor? Is that what you're telling me? That's real contrary, don't you think? Jason and Becky holding hands. I seen Jason and Becky holding hands today. I don't acknowledge that because I don't have all the facts. That's contrary. That's a person that's trying to shut you down. And what happens is, this is what happens. From my experience, what I've noticed when people are very contrary like this and stern with their arrogance to the point it's trying to humiliate you or insult you, they're reflecting on their own childhood. They're reflecting on their own domesticated situations where their parents may have dibbled and dabbed out there. And when mama did something to papa or papa did something to mama, it was through retaliation. They cannot see a person wanting the glory and the center of attention to do something. That's like a person has a brand new Mercedes or a brand new BMW, but another girl show up with a red Charger. Their Mercedes or BMW may cost $130,000, the top line, right? But because this girl brought this red Hellcat to the scene and came out with her red bottom stilettos on, just for some reason out the blue, this girl somehow rubbed her, I'm just giving you an example, trying to throw it way out there whimsical. Just some reason, somehow, this girl's studded purse, the girl that drive the BMW got a studded purse, and somehow she ended up rubbing the studded purse up the side of the car by mistake. It's like, it's very contrary. You know what I mean? So I just felt like Grandma wasn't in a glorious moment. I wasn't even explaining all this. I was just trying to say, no, we were children. And Grandma was very competitive. And he can't think that a person would want to compete over vegetation. That's like you having a garden show, right? A neighborhood garden show, and who gonna get the ribbon and be first place for the best garden. And somehow the person that worked so hard on their garden, they wake up in the morning and the flowers are missing. The garden is destroyed. But everybody else's garden's still there, right? So why would somebody be contrary on something like that? Because they're so stuck in their own trauma. They're so stuck in their own trauma that they can't allow you to reflect on your own childhood past and possibly even trauma. And I even said, what woman that believes in God and Jesus Christ would believe that God wasn't going to water them watermelons. The land spirits and the elements weren't going to water them watermelons as if they weren't drought tolerant. Actually, watermelons don't need that much water because the more water you give them, they split. So them growing at the pace they was growing was the best thing you could do. They might not be as big and prominent as the farmers, but they were going to be sweet and tiny. So I question that, but everything about every feedback was contrary. And I finally got to the point where I realized when he spoke and said, I don't acknowledge that your grandmother cut that watermelon patch. I don't witness it. I wasn't there. As if me speaking on what I saw with my own eyes and experience was not good enough. When somebody can stone cold shut you down like that, as if they're gaslighting you, stay away from them. They are not in your favor. They will turn against you. They will back you up to the wall. They will put you in the corner. They will turn other people against you. That's what you call being contrary. They are totally opposite. They oppose against you. Have you ever been somewhere and somebody lash out at you and nobody in the room would say, hey man, don't do that. That's a human just like you. That's an adult just like you. You don't have the right. If you don't feel comfortable or you don't want to be around them, tell them to go home. Don't be there. But don't disrespect them. You don't want nobody disrespecting you. And then somebody will say, well, what did you say to them? Did you deserve it? Yeah, that's very contrary. Remember that. Maybe you're not in conflict all the time. Maybe you're not wrong. Maybe somebody trying to be very contrary, a con artist, conflictive, right there in the mix. Their reality and their experiences cannot relate to what you're saying. So they only can speak off of their experience. They don't get it. But otherwise, they're just stone cold opposing to anything you say. Have you ever heard a person, you say something and they say, no, and they explain it their way? They never say, I get you. And what about this? They never know how to transition the conversation to collaborate with you. It's always opposing. Stay away from contrary people. Don't even worry about feeding them with a long-handled spoon. Stay away from them.